Hello, my name is Gillian Miller, and I'm here to describe to you the best idea for humanity. This is an intricate and well thought out collaborative plan which aims to bridge the gaps in education inequality at home and throughout the world by sharing resources and knowledge in the creation of global educational resources and networks. For through such global networks, we can bring an end to poverty, hunger, lack of education, allowing for a healthier, more productive and stable world. The first division of this plan works in bridging the gaps in education inequality through an open source educational website, restoring degraded land, and regenerating resources through the creation of sustainable communities, as well as providing university degrees in business management, government leadership, and NGO leadership for less than $1 a day. In many cases today, we are facing an education crisis due to education inequalities, resource distribution, and due to the digital divide, some schools and regions of the world are being expected to keep up with the global standards in education, but are not able to access the materials which allow them to do so. So the gap in education inequality grows wider. Traditional educational means at times are being jeopardized by these global standards. While many schools still fail to teach our children the basics of human survival, success, health, and critical analysis of information and independent thinking. Rather than physically teaching our children how to grow food, instead they show them where to buy it. This generation can be argued to be the first generation where it is entirely possible to go through one's entire life without having to work directly with the land in order to survive. In the sense of growing one's own food, collecting water, or overall management of resources on one's land in order to ensure provisions for the future. And this holds its consequences, for in many cases, today's generation, we have disconnected ourselves from the land that we walk on, for we do not directly use it to provide the resources of our lives. Instead, the land that is used to provide the resources to sustain our lives is out of sight and in many cases out of mind and no longer thought about, allowing for malpractice and land degradation that most of us would be appalled to see and support if we knew the consequences such actions held. But with using permaculture, permanent organic agricultural systems, through appropriate design implementation, we can revert such land degradation and allow for resources to regenerate themselves. We need to create such communities which are able to provide for the majority of their own needs in order to reduce the strain of monocrop culture, as well as to reteach our children how food is grown in order to support themselves and the ability to recognize the impact that we have on the land. We need to find a balance in education that cherishes traditional and cultural ways while bringing in information of the world at large. To truly take to heart and implement the saying, think globally and act locally. In the creation of a mobile permaculture school, we will restore land which has been degraded through deforestation, land which has lost fertility due to harvesting a solely monocrop culture for many years, and other pieces of land which have become unusable and degraded by various other means. By redesigning these properties to host permaculture systems, we are making them suitable to participate in our Sustainable Village program and project through Global Peace Hut in our Mother Earth villages. Our Sustainable Villages are aiming to provide a home as well as a community to refugees, orphans, students, and entrepreneurs, etc. allowing them to reestablish a connection with the land, learning how to provide food for themselves, the importance of land restoration, while teaching sustainable business development and providing lessons on how to craft items from the land for use and for sale, as well as providing a facility within the community, the Global Peace Hut, where leadership training and conflict resolution takes place. We will provide formal as well as informal education, going above and beyond today's educational requirements. We will implement a computer-based learning center used by our school in teaching computer skills, internet safety, and critical analysis of information on the net. We will link up with other schools, sharing resources and collaborating on projects through the internet, and eventually through using the site, Global Classroom, and live lecture. Our computer-based learning center will not take away from a traditional classroom style of teaching, for we fully understand the necessity of in-class communication and hands-on learning. Our computer learning centers aim to enhance the curriculum, as well as providing our students and other qualified graduates the option of a revolutionary, globally affordable style of higher education through CD distance education with the World University of Leadership. Our computer-based learning center will be used on a daily basis for students of the World University of Leadership. Our students will have the ability to register into certain time slots in order to ensure that they have sufficient time on the computer to dedicate to finishing their degrees in NGO Leadership, government leadership, or business management. We are able to invite anyone who is accepted to study with World University of Leadership. For we aim to create ethical, motivated leaders from those who would be unable to attend university in its current state. We are willing to provide 80 to 100% scholarships for those who need it. Today we stand at a very serious junction, facing the future of where education will go. With keeping the saying, "Knowledge is power," in mind, take note of the millions of children who are unable to afford or access education. So, with this knowledge that only some of the world's children are able to access education, and recognizing that those who do not receive education are our potential world leaders, inventors, and problem solvers who were never given a chance, we must create a way in order to educate all of these young minds. Today, we have the resources to be able to provide education through the internet, allowing lectures to reach thousands rather than just the number which can fit into a physical space or classroom. While recognizing that all do not have the internet and that it is still very much a luxury, many places do, which still suffer from severe educational inequalities. So we wish to create an educational site which is used as a resource throughout the world, where teachers, schools, and students can link together to share resources, collaborate on projects, share ideas, and link classrooms by live streaming internet functions such as Skype and Wimbuck, which is a live streaming online classroom, allowing students from all over the world to listen to a lecture being presented by a professor or scholar halfway around the world or down the street on a subject which is relevant to them and their life. In collaboration with our network of sustainable villages, will allow our students of all ages to have a global education while still living in a hands-on permaculture environment, learning how to directly heal the earth by restoring their local biodiversity, as well as providing the opportunity to heal themselves through the holistic environment and education system, while progressing through a program that ends in a potentially free or $1 a day university degree, which can lead them into roles of leadership in business, government, or of NGO stature.